What up, y'all? What's going on? Something be going on with my with this thing right here. I may have to switch it over, go to another app. This thing is cutting off in the midst of my life. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So I'm gonna see what I could do if I could try to switch over to another app where I could just keep it live. I might wanna just um, if I don't know. I'm just keep searching. But anyway, while I'm live, I'm just gonna be. What up, y'all? What's going on? What up, part two? Um, yeah, I saw my last stream that I just did a few minutes ago. Uh, that was pretty interesting. But I already know the main reason why those sea creatures are dying off is because of pollution in certain parts of the world. People just plain and simple is pollution. That's it. Man, it's polluting the sea. They're just polluting the sea and it's messed up. But yeah, choke no joke, man. I've been following this dude for about maybe like 6 months, and he mad informative about what went on in the inside of Rockefeller, and he gives not only just his inputs on Rockefeller, but the industry as well. So check out choke no joke, man. This dude is really, you know what I'm saying. He's funny, but at the same time, very informative, man. He drops plenty of jewels too. He's from my city right here in New York. You know what I'm saying, Harlem. So yeah, check him out, man. You know, um, doesn't surprise me about Dave Mays saying what he said. So y'all just listen to what he's saying. I hope my stream keeps showing, man. Sometimes it just cuts off. I don't know why, but
Peace, y'all. Good morning. What's the word? Choke no joke. Early morning. So I just came on real quick to let y'all know that I'm gonna be interviewing Benzino live today on my Instagram live. So for all y'all that's not on my Instagram, it's real choke no joke. All right, real choke no joke, and then I'll upload it to my YouTube. Once it's over. But we doing this interview. Benzino hit me up because Dave Mays did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and he kind of like made it look like he did everything, and everybody rocked with him, which we know is not true. Like you're not just gonna come in this culture and all these brothers are just gonna be rocking with you. Just I'm not saying that it's not possible, but come on, Dave. A lot happened because of Benzino. A lot of other stuff happened because of Benzino too. But as far as relationships wise and you getting the treatment you got in hip hop is definitely because of Benzino. So 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. What's that? Midnight for my people in the UK, Britain, and my people down in Africa and other spots. Y'all do the math, according to the times that I just gave y'all. But, we'll see y'all at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Real Choke No Joke is the Instagram.
I didn't want what you talking about with Wendy Williams. I really didn't want to hear that part. But yeah, this one right here, this thing right here, off the chain. This one right here. I was trying to film the rest of it, but
I can't believe it.
That car brought his karaoke machine.
let me see what I can do. I was trying to get
No,
the rest of
I
this
can't
right
believe
here.
how easy it was to save with Geico.
Geico. Believe it.
Wrong in the kelp forest. In 2013, we had a sea star wasting disease that hit our coast really hard, and that took out a lot of predatory sea stars. After that, we had the warm blob, the El Nino of 2014 and 15.
Up in the Gulf of Alaska, there formed a warm water blob, and the oceanographers called it a blob. And so that warm water sat in a patch and extended all the way down to our region.
Why was that warm water there? How did it get there? See, you and me between the lines, man. It's pollution, period. You know, man, it's throwing stuff into the waters, man. We seen it over in the other part of the world on Facebook, where a bunch of Orientals had about a dozen of waste. I guess it was waste from from the city. They had literally they had 12 big garbage cans, and they was throwing it in the water, throwing it in the damn water. So all this stuff that circulates, man, it circulates back to us. You know, when we throw waste all in the water, all type of things happen maybe 10, 20, even 30 years later, and then coming back. Look at the oil spill that happened back in 2010. You know, you think that's not going to affect us in another maybe 40 years? It's going to affect us, you know. But, you know, blessedly, you know, God makes the water, you know, fill up itself. It refills, you know, with cleaner water, you know. And luckily, the earth is big enough so that we can re-cleanse itself, because there's so much water around the world. I mean, it's crazy how we just, makes you think about, even when you rip up a piece of paper, like a gum paper or whatever, makes you think not to just throw it on the floor, you know, just to throw it in the garbage. I mean, subconsciously we just like rip up a piece of paper, a candy or gum, and we kind of like throw it on the floor, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it does come back to us, you know. Pollution and littering does come back to us, as you see here.
And that feature set up and didn't move and just stayed there.
That took out all of our kelp because the water got too warm for our kelp to survive.
Studies done on the blob show that while there were a number of natural drivers that formed it, human-generated global warming likely made it worse.
Shortly after that, we had the purple urchin explosion of around 2015 and 16. They can mow down forests like lawnmowers, and they multiply very quickly and they grow very quickly. They grow a lot quicker than species like abalone. So the abalone can't really keep up with their eating habits. The purple urchin are taking the kelp before it can even get to a mature age. So they're eating baby kelps before they can reproduce, and that's what's causing this huge urchin barren that we've been seeing. Usually, in a healthy ecosystem, a red abalone would be hidden under a rock. Lately, we've been seeing them on top of rocks, and they're almost half to 3/4 of their body are perched up, and they're just waiting for anything to drift by and float into their muscle or their mouth. So it's a little bit of an odd sighting. Some divers have a little bit of kelp they keep in their pockets in case they pass a red abalone, and you can put kelp in front of an abalone and it will lurch up. It's really wild to watch. It will actually lurch up like a puppy dog that just smelled a treat, and it will almost unhinge its whole body just to go grab that piece of kelp, and it tucks it in, and it kind of like holds it from all of the other urchins that are usually around it. We collected new numbers as of 2018, and we didn't see any improvement in the abalone population. If anything, we saw more declines.
So we typically see around 24 to 26,000 divers coming to dive and rock pick and collect abalone, but they're also coming with a lot of their friends and family. It's estimated that the recreational red abalone fishery is worth about $44 million to the local communities and to the fishermen who are participating in the fishery.
Silver's at the Wharf is a full-service seafood and steak restaurant and 17 lodging rooms, which are used principally by fishermen. My name is Jim Hurst, and we are in front of Silver's at the Wharf in Noyo Harbor, Fort Bragg, California. The impact of the abalone closure is somewhere about $30,000 to $40,000 a month. That's attributed to loss of food sales and lodging sales. Once you lose that business, you don't get it back. It's interesting to compare what's going on today to when our mill closed. And when the mill closed, everybody thought, oh my God, we're gonna die. It's gonna have a huge impact. It can't be replaced.
My name is Chris Bryans. We're here at Harvest Market. I am a grocery clerk. I have worked here for 29 years. There is a large amount of people that came to Fort Bragg to go diving. The whole family would come. April 1st comes and goes now, whereas before you could see the influx of the people that are going diving.
I think seeing and understanding how interconnected everything is, being able to pick your food out of the ocean like that, you have an appreciation for the effort that goes into it and where it comes from. This isn't from some abstract store someplace. This is actually your activities, and you see how it grows, and there's a relationship. It should be a relationship of stewardship. This is a source of food, and you want to protect it, and you want to take care of it so that you can continue to do it. It's a renewable resource as long as it's properly handled.
As the globe warms, we're going to have more marine heat waves, we're going to have longer duration heat waves, and they're going to be broader geographic extent. And so I think this is really giving us an inkling of what is to come.
It's quite sad that these people that have done this for generations have to stop.
It's interesting, recently I was talking to some people and somebody made a comment, yeah, nature's gonna heal itself. The question is, will man go along with it or not, or will he make the environment so intolerable for itself that that'll be it? I'd like...
There you go. Wow. I heard about these. I've never seen one before.
Yeah, well, now you have.
Yeah.
Look, pay yourself whatever and give yourself a nice tip. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You're not gonna ask me if she got home okay?
She get home okay?
No. Took her to Mass General. They're pumping her stomach as we speak. What's her name? You don't know, do you? Okay. This is the point where usually I'd give you a chance to do the right thing, but not tonight. Tonight I'm gonna need your cameras, cell phones, anything you might have used to record what you did to her.
Oh, this was a badass movie. Part one was better though, I ain't gonna front. Tommy, because you know they're gonna do something. Tommy.
You knocked on the wrong door tonight, Pops.
I don't think so. Badass movie, boy, I'm telling you.
This routine, iconic. And let's forget the health issues, that's obvious. We're gonna focus on this part right here.
It seems that cigarette litter is the last acceptable form of littering.
It's also one of the most littered plastic items on this planet. So breathe that in for a second.
What was I talking about earlier? What was I saying earlier? All right, comes back.
Cigarettes weren't always so popular. Here's what happened. Before 1888, it took a really long time to roll a cigarette. But then this guy invented the rolling machine. After that, between 1900 and 1963, American adults went from smoking an average of 54 cigarettes a year to 4,000.
Tastes real good, rich and full like a cigarette should. Brings real flavor back to you. Tobacco Winston.
Look how they promote this poison.
The tobacco companies invested heavily into marketing. Celebrities, athletes, models made smoking seem sexy, healthy, an essential part of American culture.
Even today, it's like that. Not only that, they didn't die of just only lung cancer, lip cancer, skin cancer, nose cancer, mouth cancer, finger cancer. Crazy. Strokes, heart attacks. Oh, wow.
But then in January 1964, a bombshell report was released.
The report is unanimous. The death rate from lung cancer is 1,000% higher among people who smoke.
Go figure.
This is when the filter really took off. Tobacco companies transitioned to marketing it as a way to reduce smoking hazards. Today, with more than 6 trillion cigarettes being manufactured every year, that filter, made from cellulose acetate, aka plastic, became one of the most littered plastic items in the world, ending up here, and here in New Jersey.
CINDY, Z as in zebra, I, P as in pollution, F as in fish. In the mid-'80s, New Jersey was the ocean dumping capital of the world. Sewage sludge, medical waste, these were terrible, terrible times for the region.
In 1984, Cindy helped start Clean Ocean Action, and along with it, organized one of the nation's first beach sweeps, like the one you see here.
We have all the data in here of what we collected last year in just 2 days, almost 22,000 cigarette filters. Just 2
Data like that is the reason Cindy's team has been able to influence policy change. By 2002, New Jersey was dump site free for the first time in 100 years, but they still have a lot of work to do.
Our society has evolved in not such a positive way over time when looking at the beach sweep data. Over 80% right now is plastic debris on the beaches.
The good news is that Cindy's data shows that cigarette filters found on beaches have declined over the last few years. However, according to the World Health Organization, cigarette butts are still the #1 item picked up on beaches worldwide. The bad news, vaping is quickly gaining popularity, and the cartridges and tips used with these products are becoming the next iteration of single-use plastic trash. So here's what we can do about it. The best solution, get everyone to stop smoking, which probably won't work. The government could help here. Cigarette disposal costs cities millions each year. Since '93, over 150 beaches in the US implemented smoking bans, which, in one case study, led to fewer cigarette butts. But federally, we've yet to see any type of regulation. Some companies claim they've created a completely biodegradable filter, but there's no hard science backing them up. Other solutions include filterless roll-your-own cigarettes, pocket ashtrays, or reusable filters. But back to what Cindy said,
Cigarette litter is the last acceptable form of littering.
the key word here is acceptable. Social norms play a huge role in our behavior. If society thinks it's even a little bit okay, we're gonna do it, regardless of the impact. Nowadays, especially in the age of social media, public opinion can shift quicker than ever. Just look at plastic straws. So maybe the best solution might just be to make littering a cigarette butt socially unacceptable.
CoverGirl Clean Foundation, a non-acnegenic, kind-to-skin formula that won't clog pores. It's a lightweight foundation that breathes with you. From CoverGirl.
You're a lawyer. You're good at it. It's what you do.
I'm not your guy, honey.
Mad commercials, right?
I'm glad you reconsidered this case. The fall broke her neck.
National Geographic is very interesting. Nat Geo Wild is even better.
Dr. Fleet Max Ruja. I work for the Bermuda government, overseeing the shipwrecks that surround this island. Every one of them has an incredible story to tell. Now, I've been the custodian of historic wrecks for the islands of Bermuda for about just over a decade now. There are over 300 shipwrecks that surround this island, which is actually quite incredible because it's not that big a place, which means that pretty much anywhere you swim, you're going to bump into a shipwreck. They form an integral part of our national identity. It's one of Bermuda's most iconic shipwrecks. There's actually two shipwrecks laid on top of each other. You have the Constellation that came afterwards and the Montana. The debris from the Constellation is washed right through the center of this shipwreck. So you have a very confounding set of artifacts. You have some from the 20th century and some from the 19th century. Everything sort of rolled into one. It's a really historically relevant shipwreck. It was part of the fleet of these blockade runners that ran very quickly to feed the Confederate South with weapons during the Civil War. This was an iron ship. She had large paddle wheels on either side and big engines in the center. So a lot of that is still completely intact. You can still go into parts of the shipwrecks and have a look around. But the bow is completely occluded by hard coral. The stern is nestled down between reefs that have clearly grown up around it. Because it's pretty shallow and because it's pretty rocky, you can imagine those hard corals would have settled on it pretty quickly. This is how nature wants to be on this shipwreck. There's been no interference. That's actually one of the things we're trying to accomplish, is in monitoring these shipwrecks, we can actually measure to some extent how fast coral grows. And with a changing environment, with our concerns about climate change, how coral responds and how coral grows is a pretty important thing. And so these shipwrecks also are a really great opportunity for us to establish a start point and decide from there how long has it taken for essentially nature to take it over. These unfortunate human events actually are simply absorbed by nature and turned into another one of its beautiful phenomena. These shipwrecks are sort of part of have a historical narrative to tell us, but they also have an important science function as they operate as kind of like a benchmark, if you want, in the environment. So for how things have changed up till now and how they're going to change going forward. And because they hold our interest, they're also a really important segue to getting people to care about the marine environment.